Have you ever felt like you've hit a ceiling at your current brokerage? Maybe you're grateful where you are, but deep down inside, you know you're capable of more. I get it. Seriously, this happened about 3 years ago with us, myself and my business partner, our team. So today I want to share 5 signs that you may have outgrown your current brokerage and that what you should be looking for if you're serious about growing your business, your income, and your impact. My name is Brian Stevens. I'm with eXp Realty, the Realtors of Faith group. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you find value. And if you do, I want to connect with you as a real estate agent. All right, so let's talk through this. If you're kind of kicking all this around, number one, maybe lack of support. You shouldn't feel like you're building your business alone. So let me ask you a question. Is your broker difficult to reach when you need assistance? Does it take you a day or two to get an answer? Okay. Maybe you've got questions about contracts, negotiations, or situations, and you don't know who to call. You know, many times new agents are often left just kind of figure things out on your own, and you're going to do some of that anyways. But are you getting the support that you really, really need? Maybe there's little hands-on guidance to help you avoid costly mistakes, or you're just not getting the practical help that you really need to help, you close more transactions. Hey, as agents, we all need support. We all need accountability. And even after 30 years, I've still experienced the same type thing. But we have a brokerage here that we're a part of that we can get a hold of a broker pretty quick via email, text, phone call, usually same day. And many times within hours, because sometimes when you need an answer, you need an answer. Let me ask you this. Number 2, are you hitting a point where maybe you feel like it's lack of growth? So if you're closing the same number of transactions year after year after year, again, congratulations, you're closing deals, but are you increasing your transaction count every year? So maybe you're working hard, but your production numbers haven't increased. Things feel the training feels repetitive and basic. Nobody's challenging you really to think bigger, to take it to new levels. Maybe you're not learning new lead generation or marketing strategies, or you just feel like you've stopped growing professionally because you've grown comfortable. If that's the case, maybe it's time to consider a new brokerage. Growth doesn't happen automatically. We need people and environments that are going to stretch us and challenge us to become better people, to become better real estate agents. Number 3, maybe your brokerage is not providing that community that you're looking for. And real estate agents, we need each other, right? And you don't want to feel like you're on an island working. You want to do the best you can at having community so you're not working just by yourself. Maybe you're thinking, I rarely collaborate with any other agents. I just don't have them. Most agents in my office, you may think, are just focused on themselves, and they're not really sharing ideas, scripts, systems, best practices, and you don't have a group of people around you like encouraging you or saying, man, you got this? Go get that listing. I hope you get this buyer under contract. Congratulations on those 2 listings you got this week. We all need that, right? Maybe your love language is words of affirmation. Hello, I get that. And it's nice to have a group of people around you that will encourage you. Maybe you feel isolated instead of connected. Well, we know that God never intended us to do life alone. Community matters in our faith, and it matters in our business. Number 4, maybe you're feeling like your brokerage does not actually hand off to you a retirement strategy. They don't provide a retirement strategy. And I was going to say, most of them don't. Okay? Commissions are fantastic. We thank God for them. But what are you building for the future? What does your future look like in real estate? What's your off-ramp look like? You tell me. You may think every January feels like you're starting over from zero. Your income stops if you stop working. There's no opportunities for ownership, so important, or long-term wealth building. What does that look like? Do you have hope there? Or are you just kind of stuck? Maybe you've got no strategy for creating an additional stream of income. So important in the real estate business. Maybe you're just building transactions, but you're not really building assets. You don't have anybody stretching your thinking, giving you ideas, strategies to kind of broaden yourself as you stay in this business. Well, I can tell you when I reached my later years here in real estate, which I consider myself, I started asking myself a question: what am I building right now that will still benefit my family, call it 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What am I building? What is my off-ramp? What is it going to look like? What, besides my SEP IRA, which I highly suggest that you do as a real estate agent, or a simple IRA, do something, take part of your commission every single time you have a closing or once a month, and pay yourself into a retirement account. You won't miss it, and you will love me, and you'll love your present self for doing that a year, 5, 10 years down the road. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. So the last thing is this. Maybe your current office is not offering accountability. Most agents don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack consistency. So frustrating on my part when I try to help agents is they're just not being consistent. So maybe you're at a brokerage where nobody is talking about your goals. Nobody's asking you about, hey, what are you doing for lead generation? Nobody's helping you maybe stay focused on your priorities, because it's easy to get distracted and do the wrong things. And maybe you're not being challenged to be the best version of who God created you to be. You know the scripture, one of my favorites in Proverbs, it tells us, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And we all need people who are going to encourage us, challenge us, help us to stay on track. So in closing, if you've seen some of these signs and maybe where you are today, it may not mean you're at a bad brokerage. Absolutely. Before we came over to where we are now at EXP, we're at a very solid brokerage. It was good. But it may mean for you, you've kind of outgrown your current environment. Something to really think about. Have you outgrown your current environment with training, accountability, purpose, direction, retirement, goal planning? If you've outgrown that, you got to kind of kick that around. That's what we did a few years ago, and we were just looking for more growth, more collaboration, more opportunity, and a bigger vision for the future that I felt like God had for us. And so that's one of the reasons we created the Realtors of Faith group within EXP Realty and part of the Wolf Pack. And the value that we can offer from the benefits of all the social media of the Wolf Pack, from the Realtors of Faith, my 30-year mentorship in this business, it's pretty big. And I'm telling you, God is using us to do great things. And I would love to have a conversation with you. If you feel like I've outgrown my brokerage, kind of ready to move on, a fresh start is good. Isn't it? Sometimes it's time to just, hey, Lord, this was a great season. Like it talks about in Ecclesiastes, there's a season for this, a season for that. Maybe your season is coming up in your current brokerage and you're thinking, I need to think about what's next. That's actually healthy, right? Step out in faith. Book that call below. My cell phone number is right there, 863-647-8600. Call me direct, text me. My email address is below. Would love to connect with you. Just remember, in Proverbs 29:18, the scripture says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So keep growing, keep serving, keep your eyes on Jesus. And I pray God's blessing upon your business, your family, and that he would use you for his glory. God bless.